Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, goodbye. Welcome to another podcast. Um, Schozophronio, episode 5, I think, right? I don't know. Next one on the list, the newest, latest, and greatest. I don't. Um, I should include what number they are because the titles are online now. Sorry. Uh, the titles are all online. It's all there now because last week, milestone week for Schozophronio, it became a thing pretty much. Monday morning after recording the episode, the Brownie Bash episode. I mean, I was talking a little bit in that, like towards the end when I just started to ramble off and whatever. Uh, I got done with that recording and I just I just gave it a green light and I put it on this Spreaker site. YouTube hasn't happened yet, but that'll come around. There's a lot more editing and like computer stuff involved with that I'm not savvy with yet. So that's gonna come, maybe with a little help. But yeah, Monday I went for it. I just started uploading them to the Spreaker site and uh, like kind of plugged that into my own personal Instagram, and then with iTunes, once my stuff was on Spreaker, Spreaker has like an option to put your info in, and then it creates this. This might get too heady, but it creates this. Uh, it's like a template that you just input the information, and it creates part of the coding that's necessary for the URL that is needed to be sent to iTunes for it to go through this review process, and then once it passes the review process, it's then located on iTunes, and as I update the feed, the template kind of thing on Spreaker, since it's attached to that URL, it automatically updates and sends new information to iTunes because it's part of that RSS feed situation. Whether you understand that, that's my understanding of it. Uh, that's that. There's also that for, and I haven't checked it today actually. As of Monday, Cyber Monday. Uh, as of today, if it's on the Google Play Google Music Play, thing, whatever Androids, whatever your Android users have. I don't know what it's called. It's something like that. I didn't check it today. I sent it in the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so it may be there. I assume a holiday weekend there because they have to review it as well, before it's uploaded to their selection on their store play, Google Play store platform, whatever. I don't know. So I can officially say, subscribe to this on iTunes. Listen to it on Spreaker. However, as long as you're touch and play, I appreciate it. Kind of fitting that this episode came out during Thanksgiving or the Thanksgiving week because, I've just been like so thankful for all the feedback I've gotten from everybody. Even though if you talk to me about it in real life, uh, I just like, oh, you listen to it? That's cool. Like, thanks. I don't know. It's this weird like it's me. Like I'm comfortable in this closet and talking about it and like making new episodes and everything, but as far as like I'm working on it. Like I said in the last episode, it kind of became a thing that I needed to work on, like whether it's like accepting compliments or like being excited for something. It's something I'm working on, but I'm like honestly so stoked for everything this has become and everything it is. Uh, and like moving forward, I do want to like take like criticism and feedback and allow it to kind of shape the content a little bit. I'm still gonna do what I want and like how I want to do it, and that's always gonna be my own way of things. But hearing feedback and uh, hearing the things you like and don't work or work well. I like it when you do this with it, and the episodes that are like this, I enjoy that kind of thing. I'm always going to be like receptive to anything, obviously with a grain of salt, because I'm not going to like, if you don't like it and you tell me, I'm going to be like, cool, that's it, just like everything else on the internet. You don't have to listen to it. So I don't know. I enjoy this whole process, so that's what I want this to continue to be. And I'm just thankful that people are listening to whatever. Like whatever. Like so yeah, that's good. Sorry, like this I'm finally having coffee, and it's again it starts to kick in like pretty quick, and once it does, I feel like I have to like regain my balance. Like there's always like one point where it just like hits me like a ton of bricks, and I'm like, okay, and I start to like I don't know, it's this weird, especially this stump down stuff, man. Woo, pretty gnarly. Um, so I'm like, all week I was so stoked to like get another episode out. Just see how it is on iTunes again, like whether when I put it up, like the process it's gonna go through, and then seeing a new episode up on iTunes. I don't know. I just want that to happen, and like whether you're like subscribed and you get a notification like new Schozophronio episode, that is so cool. Like I hope that happens. I don't know how to get that to happen, but I hope that does, because when there's podcasts that I listen to that I get updates that they have a new episode, I'm like, yes, download. So I hope that happens. I don't know the logistics of that, but yeah. So this week, as I was prepping for this episode, I um, I started prepping for it on the computer, and kind of like I just had like Word open, and I had Schozophronio episode 5, and then like enter like bullet point, and then 40 minutes later I found myself deep in the library of Coheed and Cambria YouTube videos. I don't know why. Um, that's what happens when I'm trying to do anything on the computer. That's like, I took some online classes like back when I was going to school. That is the worst idea. I can't stay if I'm sitting on the computer and I use this thing for like in my free time to like play games and stuff or go on YouTube. I can't be productive on the same thing. Like I can't do it. And so I went back to like writing and everything. I had to turn it off because Coheed and Cambria, I've been on a Coheed and Cambria kick this past week. Their music is so good. Like I, in high school, back when I like was told about them and started listening to them, I've like they come in like they come and go in like different seasons of my life, but every time it's like I'm listening to them for the first time. You have those like bands or like songs or music that happens to you, like, and especially their music videos. They're so good. Uh, they keep you watching until the end because there's like stories to them, and they're like legit music videos. And what I appreciate about them is that in most of their music videos, it shows them like playing their respective instruments, which is something that like I don't know. I don't, are music videos still around? I guess they are, but it's not on like television like it used to be, like TRL and all that stuff. Like I don't think any music video makes it to TV. I think it's just all online. That's so weird to think. But the music video, I think my favorite music video of Coheed and Cambria, what am I talking about? is Blood Red Summer. There was a while ago when my brother and I were just going through their music videos. The lead singer, this Claudio Sanchez guy, some of the facial expressions he makes and like eyebrow raises are so good. Like especially Blood Red Summer around like a minute and a half to like 2.5 minutes into the music video, like the facial expressions he makes are incredible. I don't know. It might not be funny at all, but it's just one of those things where I watch it. Like if I'm in a bad mood or something, I'll watch the music video of Blood Red Summer, and I start busting up. I don't know. I hope it does the same for you. If it doesn't, then then that's fine, I guess. Then I don't get you. Okay. That's how that works. Um, and then like their acoustic music is so good as well. Like there is a little, it's almost like an unplugged thing. They have, it's called Mother Superior, the song, and they play it like their acoustic guitar, like it's just two of them playing. It sounds so good. All that to say, Coheed and Cambria is good. Their music videos are good. I get lost in their like. I just have to resort back to actually writing stuff down, which I feel like I can organize my thoughts better as I write stuff down. I read out of books with pages, not like digital books. Occasionally I'll listen to like an audio thing, but I don't know. Anyway, speaking of research, did a little research on my break last week. For the okay, so I was on Instagram on my break, just looking up on the Schozophronio. Scozio. Oh my god. On the Schozophronio Instagram page, I'm still looking at coasters. And here's the thing. I haven't found a like coaster exclusive Instagram account. It's all like Etsy pages that are like they sell like crafty things, and amongst their crafty options, they also make coasters, or they dabble in coasters. So that's kind of a bummer. So as I'm looking up like hashtag coaster, hashtag coasters, all that stuff, amongst the hashtags, I see hashtag Coastersaurus. Like, how fitting is that for Schozophronio? So fitting. So that brings us to this week's Dinosaur of the Day. And let's get some like music or something for this, shall we? Like okay, there we go. Yeah, sure. Coastersaurus. So Coastersaurus is an actual roller coaster that's located in Legoland, San Diego, and Legoland in Florida. I don't know the city. Should have looked that up. My bad. The one in Florida, the Coastersaurus in Florida, is a wooden roller coaster. It looks legit. Like as far as like, I mean, any wooden roller coaster to me is gonna look legit because I have like this fetish with them. Well, they're beautiful. And the one in San Diego, here in California, which I have to go on. I have to go on this ride. I have to go to Legoland. It has to happen. This little steel roller coaster, so it's not as appealing to me as the Florida one, but yeah. So Coastersaurus, it stands 18 feet tall and 492 feet long. The track with top speed of 21 miles an hour. That's less than what you go in a school zone or in your neighborhood. So not too fast. That's like a cruising speed. And you actually go around twice. This ride is that short. You go once and you go not once but twice. What I can relate it to, based on the videos I saw, I can relate it to like the Gadget Go coaster in Toontown in Disneyland, which is the best ride at Disneyland. If you haven't been on it, you should check it out. I recommend the Gadget Go coaster, located next to Chippendale's house. And it is that ride is legit. So this Coastersaurus, it circles around twice, and there is like Lego dinosaurs built throughout the landscape of the ride. It says you circle around an 1,100-pound Brachiosaurus made of Lego bricks. I don't know how those things work. When things are like built out of Lego, like if you're downtown Disney and you're walking next to the Lego store there, those like things built out of Legos, like the Beauty and the Beast thing and the dragon on top blowing the fire. Like, how do they do that? Are they all glued together with this all-weather glue stuff? Like, are they actually Legos? Or is it just made to look like Legos because they're outside 24/7? How does that... I don't know. So that's the Brachiosaurus. The Brachiosaurus is in the lagoon there as you circle around, and it says you whiz by a feeding Parasaurolophus, which is another dinosaur. It's a duck-billed dinosaur, Parasaurolophus. So, Coastersaurus is still teaching us about different dinosaurs here. It was opened, so Legoland was open March 20th, 99. So Legoland itself is only, what is that, 18 years old? And Coastersaurus was opened April 1st, 2004. So 5 years after, on April Fool's Day. Which is so fitting because, like, maybe it opened that day. April Fools, like, maybe this dinosaur is a different one. Whenever we talk about dinosaurs, it's always, you know, maybe. Coaster Soros. Now you can now ride that in Legoland. Open April Fool's Day. Maybe it's open. Just very fitting to me. But so that makes it what, 13? Legoland's been open 18 years. And I haven't been. Like, I want to go and, like, I gotta go on this ride now. I, like, owe it to Schozophronio to do it. Much like going to Anaheim and bashing some poo-poo sauce in Anaheim. I gotta get some poo-poo sauce in Anaheim. God. I need to do that. I really want to try them. And I'm like hungry right now. And I have the day off. I might get some poo-poo sauce in Anaheim. I don't know. I don't want to make any promises. I just really want to see like how it works. And I want to like kind of want to brush up on my Spanish, you know? Like I think that would be good for me. But yeah, I mean that's Coaster Source, man. Legoland. It's 13 years old, 18 feet tall, whizzing speed of 21 miles an hour. Yeah, speaking of Legoland, and today is Cyber Monday. I think the sale's still going on because it was like a Black Friday weekend Cyber Monday sale. A little plug for Legoland. They are having so you can get 50% off admission right now, and that ticket that you buy 50% off is good for like the dates between January 7th and like February 20 something, 17 something, I don't know. But it's like good for sometime between January and February. So a little Cyber Monday sale if you want to actually check out Coastersaurus. I will probably take up this offer today. Maybe. Not sure. But half price tickets to Legoland? $56. It's $112 for an adult admission into Legoland. Like, why though? So expensive. But I haven't been. If I'm gonna pay to get in, I'd rather pay half price. You know what I'm saying? Like, no brainer, dude. So, I don't know. But I really want to go. So, you know. Yeah, so there you go. If you listen to this before Monday is out, today, get yourself some Legoland tickets or something. And check out Coastersaurus, all the other Lego things. Everybody I've asked if they've been to Legoland, besides my cousins who live down in San Diego, they have like annual passes, but they have little kids too. Everybody has said like they haven't been since they're like 10, 11. Like they went a while ago and had really fun, like a lot of fun, and then they had really fun. And they haven't been since. They'll go like once, get their Lego thing going, and then bounce. So I think because I'm still a 12-year-old, I can, I would go and enjoy it and probably want to go back again. So I might be checking out Legoland. Speaking of I mentioned my cousins who have passes there. So my cousin has a kid. They have two kids. We were talking about this at Thanksgiving because I brought up Legoland and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, we have passes," and I guess the pass price is like worth it. It's how Disneyland used to be with their passes. Like, not like the freaking mouse is just raking dough like off these pass holders. I heard there's over a million pass holders. A mi- Over a million Disneyland pass holders. There's more pass holders than like the park capacity can handle. Like what? I mean, some of these people have to be like out of state, and so I mean, I imagine if you take like a week vacation to California and you're going to Disneyland and you buy a pass and you just spread out your payments over a year, it's going to be cheaper for you than to just like buy tickets every day on your vacation. I am way off track of what I was saying. Uh, okay, passes. My cousins have passes for Legoland. My cousins have kids, uh, 4 and 6, I think. And the 6-year-old, this is all like from Thanksgiving discussion. The 6-year-old right now, he's super into, I think he's 6, around there. He's super into Pokemon right now. And so Thanksgiving, um, I wanted to bring it up to him. I wanted to start talking about Pokemon and see like what he knows because Pokemon has been around for over 20 years. Can you believe that? Like 98 got like my blue version for my Game Boy Pocket, I think. Eh. Um and like played the crap out of that, but I'm still playing Pokemon to this day. So, and I'm the only one like in my family that's still playing it. So, as my cousins, as my little cousin, what is that relation, by the way? If I have a cousin and they have a kid, who, what is that? What is my relation to that? Like, besides just saying my cousin's kid, do you know what it is? I'm not gonna look it up. I don't have anything to look it up with. My phone's my light right now. Uh, I don't know what that's called, but so he's talking about new Pokemon. Like, I guess his favorite Pokemon is Sableye. I thought it was Sableye, but Sableye, sure. I don't know. Uh, who is like this like dark psychic Pokemon, and so I know psychic Pokemons can learn like hypnosis, which I'm gonna get. This is a little nerdgasm is about to happen. So, the so like dark psychic Pokemon, uh, typically can learn hypnosis, which puts the opponent to sleep, and then the Pokemon who can learn hypnosis can typically learn this move Dream Eater, which while your opponent is asleep, this move eats the dreams of that opponent. The opponent's HP, hit points go down, and uh, you gain those hit points that you ate out of the other one. Like, I know it's weird. It's Pokemon talk, whatever. So I was talking to him about like, so can Sableye learn hypnosis, and then can he learn Dream Eater? And he's like, whoa, what's Dream Eater? And so I'm like telling him all about this stuff, and then our Pokemon like discussion gets like bigger and bigger. So now the whole like the group is talking about it. My mom's talking about it. My two brothers that were there, um, so everybody's talking about it now. And so I think my little cousin got intrigued by how much I knew about Pokemon because he's like, dude, I would assume he's like, you're older than me, but you know all this stuff about Pokemon. Like, how do you know all this Pokemon stuff? So the more I was talking to him, uh, I was sitting in this chair, this armchair, for one. It's a one-person chair. Uh, just like sitting there with a glass of wine, talking about Pokemon, which sounds incredible. I would do that every night if I could. Uh, and he like sits up on the arm of the chair and then kind of like works his way down into the seat. So I'm like, oh, welcome to the chair. And so as we're all talking about Pokemon, he like kind of leans over and like nudges me a little bit and like kind of half whispers to me, wait, so are Pokemon real? It was one of the cutest things I've ever heard in my life come out of anybody. And I didn't know what to say. Like, it was put me on the spot because I didn't want to be like, no, come on, dude. Like, shoot down. I wasn't about to do that. So I was like, you know what? And as I'm like thinking, like, he says, maybe in Japan they're real? And I'm like, you know what? I think maybe. I think you're right. And then he like kind of like tenses up and like rolls his eyes back and was like, what? And like falls out of the chair. Like, it was the coolest thing, dude. Like, it was great. That was like the highlight of my Thanksgiving. I mean, besides the typical like Thanksgiving food, which is always good, that cranberry sauce out of a can, one of my favorite foods ever. Cranberry sauce from a can, yes. I would eat the whole can. But that was probably the highlight of Thanksgiving, easily. Getting asked if Pokemon are real, like, dead serious. Wait, are Pokemon real? So good. So I think this week I'm gonna read another thing that I was reading during. I did a lot of like writing and reading this past week because putting Schozophronio out and online as kind of like it's made me a little more serious about stuff. Like this is actually a thing. Like I have people, or like whether it's in my head or not, I have people like expecting content now. Not in like this boss telling me you need to get this done by here or whatever. But it's like I just want to get this stuff out. Like I want there to be a consistency because I think that's super important. And I just want it to keep growing. So I want this to be something that is a continual, weekly, scheduled habit creation situation. So I did get some feedback about, I guess, the podcast as a whole, because I released all of them at once, like in one chunk on November 20th, last Monday. So what I heard from the people who did give me feedback was they liked the readings from War of Art. So I want to read another one of those this week that stuck out to me as I was like preparing and like just like going through my day, my morning, whatever. And I think sorry, pardon me, excuse me, beg your pardon. I think this segment needs some music as well. I'm trying this music thing out. I think this will work. Sure. As I read from page 62. Sorry. Page 62 of The War of Art. If you can open up your textbooks to page 62, and we'll just popcorn read from here. So if you want to start, you can go ahead. All right, so this is called Professionals and Amateurs. Page 62. Yeah. All right. Bear with me. As you know, I'm not the best reader. Okay, professionals and amateurs. Aspiring artists defeated by resistance share one trait. They all think like amateurs. They have not yet turned pro. The moment an artist turns pro is as epical as the birth of his first child. With one stroke, everything changes. I can state absolutely that the term of my life can be divided into two parts: before turning pro and after. To be clear, when I say professional, I don't mean doctors and lawyers, those of the professions. I mean the professional as an ideal. The professional in contrast to the amateur. Consider the differences. The amateur plays for fun. The professional plays for keeps. To the amateur, the game is his avocation. To the pro, it's his vocation. The amateur plays part-time, the professional full-time. The amateur is a weekend warrior. The professional is a 7 days a week. The professional is there 7 days a week. He's not actually 7 days a week. That's impossible to be that. The word amateur comes from the Latin root meaning to love. The conventional interpretation is that the amateur pursues his calling out of love while the pro does it for money. Not the way I see it. In my view, the amateur does not have the love for the game enough. If he did, he would not pursue it as a sideline, distinct from his real vocation. The professional loves it so much he dedicates his life to it. He commits full time. That's what I mean when I say turning pro. Resistance hates it when we turn pro. God. So, I think why that one stuck out to me as I was reading little entries of this book, is it felt a little bit like that in this past week when I put my shit on the internet. When Schozophronio went live, air quotes, I feel like that was me going into the minor leagues, maybe. I wouldn't say pro because, at least in this context, when he says, 7 days a week, commits their life to it full time, because I have another job, I can't do this full time, and there's no money to be made in this. God. I'm not making money off any downloads or anything of this podcast. And so that's where that's where it gets kind of gray for me as far as this, defining this project, the Schozophronio, into this idea of amateur and pro. I think mentally, because this week I put it out on the internet and I feel like I have so much to manage now, or more to manage, because I want to keep the content fresh and ongoing, and keep Instagram updated with stuff, and I want to keep building off of whatever I have. Each week I want it to build off of what's already there as far as Schozophronio is. So I think there's a shift in mentality that is like a professional mentality where, I love this, amateur thing. I love doing this. This is something that has come out of me loving to talk into a microphone. So I think that's there. But it's because this is almost like a relationship to me, where it's Schozophronio is the first thing I think of when I wake up, and it's the last thought I have when I go to sleep. It's always on my mind. I'm whatever happens to me, I'm starting to write shit down as it happens to me in my life, because I want to maybe that'll fit into like some content that I put up here. Um, so, and I like the flexibility and like I don't know if it's a word. It's like the liquidity. Is that a word? It's kind of like each podcast, or because it's a podcast, because the nature of what a podcast is, it's like this clay thing, and I could just mold it into whatever I want it to be. And then each week I can add stuff to it, or whether that's like looking at Schozophronio as a whole, it's like this clay thing that I'm building on to, and each episode is adding to it, or if it's just one episode at a time, and I'm just making each episode individually. I'm like seeing stuff in my head as I talk about it, and I'm using my hands. I don't know if any of this is making sense, but yeah, I think this book is helping me deal with that resistance idea, like I mentioned in the previous things, where it's like there was like a little pressure added once I had stuff online. Once like Monday hit and I had everything live and people listening to my stuff, it was a bigger deal than like what I thought it was. And I was like super nervous to do all that, because it's putting myself out there, really. And like there's gonna be stuff on here that like I'm not even sure that I said it, and someone's gonna down the line, like it's gonna feel like someone knows me, and I don't know how they're gonna like be able to connect with me on this certain level that I don't know. Caffeine is doing weird things to my thoughts right now, and I don't know. It's just, it was a big deal to put it out there, and all of these thoughts that I have that are coming out of my mouth while I'm in this closet recording an episode of Schozophronio is like, it's a big deal. Like, it keeps me sane for sure, because it's like it's like a therapeutic thing, and until like it's gonna be like that on these solo episodes that I have. I mean, I have plans to have, like, very loose plans to have people on this. I know my brother said he wanted to be on this, and I'm like so down. Like, I told him he could be on my Christmas special. I don't know what I'm going to do for my Christmas special yet. I know there's going to be, it might be a Festivus special, which is even better. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to like all this stuff, and yeah, like my solo episodes are going to be, it's going to be like this therapeutic thing that it's happening. But yeah, and then I'll have guests on, and I'm so stoked for whatever is going to happen with all of this. I did get some new coasters. Here's the thing. I think the difference between me coming from amateur to pro, and I'm kind of in the minor leagues right now, I will know that I'm a pro when I become a pro because I will have coasters. That is like when people get like drafted to the NBA, they buy like cars, and that's when like their pro life starts. Like, oh, living the lifestyle. So when I become a pro, living the lifestyle will be having a freaking Schozophronio's under my cups. That's when I turn pro. So what I was gonna say is I bought this set of coasters, right? This past week, and they're kind of like this natural wood colored. They're not like a fresh slice of tree, like that kind of natural wood. It's like, like this It's been you know it's been worked on. It's been what am I trying to say? Yeah, it's like this natural wood thing. It's got like a design on it. It's this little coaster thing that I'm using in my closet. So it's a set of four. What I didn't realize when I bought the coasters is I got into my room. I got home, went up to my room, put the coaster down on my nightstand, and it's like literally the same color as my nightstand. Like I couldn't see it. Once I put it down, I was like, oh shit. Like that is cool to have like a coaster that like blends into the surface that it's on. But what I did find out, what I did gather from that was, I think one of the key philosophies, I guess, if you will, if you would, if I may, um, is the the material of the surface in which the coaster is on determines the material of the coaster. Let me say that again. So the material of the surface that the coaster is on determines the material of the coaster. I think that needs to be taken into consideration in all areas of the home, of places of eating places, diners, restaurants, diners, dinner places, dinner tables, kitchen tables, breakfast nooks, nightstands, bandstands, grandstands. All of those areas, the surface determines the material. The material of the surface determines the material of the coaster. I'm going to write a book. The philosophy of the coaster, it's going to be this whole thing, much like Kramer's book in Seinfeld, the coffee table book, 4 coffee tables, about coffee tables, and the book like folds out into a literal coffee table. I have to make a book, a coaster book, about coasters that functions as a coaster. I think that is now on the list. Coaster philosophy. I'll try to think of like a more clever name, but it's legitimate because if I don't have my glasses on or my contacts in, and I try to like pick up my drink and put it back on the coaster, and I can't find the coaster, nope, can't do that. That's defeats the purpose of the coaster. So, all that to say, yeah, it's gonna be. I'm really looking forward to the day that there's some Schozophronio's out there. Um, that's it's in the works. It's really not, but it's gonna happen soon. It's not anytime soon. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this week. You're hope you get some Cyber Monday deals today. Uh, have a good week as December starts. It's like the weather today right now. It's like a nice rainy day, and I love when I wake up and I hear like cars driving by, and I can tell like by the sound that the street's wet as the tires drive by. It just makes me like happy. I don't know what it is. Um, but yeah, thanks again for all the support. Um, whether you're touch and play on Spreaker, on iTunes, hopefully the Google Play store thing happens. If not today, then tomorrow. I'll let you know on like social media things once it's up, for all you like Android user people and stuff. And YouTube, I don't have like a plan when that stuff comes out because all the editing involved, but I want to get that out because I feel like that's how I'll reach, like strangers, because I feel like a lot of people I know are listening to this, which is cool because it's like I'm hanging out with you, even if I haven't seen you in a long time. How you doing? I'm doing good. This is what's going on in my life. So, I don't know. That's kind of weird. You don't even have to call me. I'm just talking about it. I'm just telling you straight up. This is what's going on. I think about Lego dinosaur roller coasters and have debates on whether Pokemon are real or not, which, who doesn't want that life? So, yeah, I'll let you know when all this stuff, like as stuff happens, if you're it'll mostly be like Instagram updates, whether it's like in the story there or like an actual post. I don't know if I already did it, but I want to do a shout out to Sharon for making that freaking logo. I think I already did, but it's literally like, it's the coolest thing. I don't know. It's like we have it's like the podcast has a face. Did I say that? I don't know, but we got a face, and the face is the logo, and I think that's great. Wow, I actually like tripped up on that. Like I started to do it as a joke, and then I couldn't get it out. Could you develop a stutter like that? If you like joke about that enough, and then you like can't get the word out? That was weird. My stomach just made a noise. I think I'm gonna get something to eat. Yeah, thanks for all the support, guys and gals. Yeah, I'll just end it here. Yeah, follow especially the Instagram, because if I do stuff, I'm like on that anyway personally on my shit. So like during the week shit is gonna happen on that. So that kind of holds you over until another episode, but also keeps you updated on like the stuff going on with this podcast, if you will. So thanks guys, and I will my stomach is going crazy. I will catch you next time on Schozophronio. Have a good week.